Welcome to Amateur Redneck Workshop. I'm Harold, and today we're going to finish up part 2 of making the gear cutter arbor, and then we can move on to some other adventure. I've got these things kind of worked out also. They're nice and slick. The last one I made was just right here. This thing's slick as glass. Maybe you can tell by looking at how shiny it is. I got all the things worked out. It was all in putting the nozzle down right really close to the bed there, you know. And now everything's printing like crazy. Doesn't seem wide enough for a sander belt, but it's probably plenty wide enough for wheels for things around here that need a metal wheel. So I'm going to make 4 of the little guys. Funny how mine didn't turn out red like Mr. Pete's. Anyway, so I had to cut a keyway in the piece there. That's in part 2, cutting the keyway and stuff. And it's a metric keyway. Recently I had ordered a 6mm end mill so that I could cut a 6mm keyway for the last, you know, the last gear cutter arbor I made. And so I thought, well, this time maybe I better get a collet, a metric collet. And so I started to order 2 metric collets. I was going to order a 4mm and a 6mm. And I had the farm all done up there, and it's come to about almost $25 for the shipping and all. And I thought, well, wait a minute, that's dumb. I can go over on Amazon and I can get a whole set for about 50 bucks and no shipping. And that's like 12 collets instead of 2. So that's what I did. And finally the stuff's come in and I got to work on the rest of the video. And that's what we're going to see here today. Okay? Let's go right on to the works. Well, having the collets makes cutting the hex so easy till it's almost fun. So I think what I'll do is I'll drop my tool about 40 thousandths and we'll see what it looks like, and maybe go all the way around like that. That's 40 thousandths. I'm not necessarily making any particular size of hex, you know, to fit any particular size of wrench. Make sure that I've got that end mill cutting all the way across. And you know something, I almost made a big mistake here. I just realized after I put the little motor on there, I haven't used this thing, and the head's not bolted down. It's bolted down now. Oh! And now that's too loose, so I think I probably wiped out an end mill. That burn it. When will I ever learn to tighten things down to really tighten the collet? Well, that's twice since I came over here that old Bozo's attempted to really wipe me out. I don't know how much more I can take. We'll try to make really light cuts in the hope that things will kind of level out. But this is one more hex that I'm going to have a blemish on, and that's for a fact. Daisy feels like I'm making her late for lunch, and she gets upset about that. Are you late for lunch? What's your problem? Well, now that Daisy and I have had our lunch, I'll continue on with this. I may just make a flat on each side, because it's probably not going to clean up if I do a hex. not after that stupid disaster. Well, it's a pretty pitiful hex, but not as pitiful as the last one I did, so I guess I'll just keep it. So that gets me down to the point here where I got to tighten down with a wrench, where I need to cut the little 4mm keyway, and so I got to wait for the end mill to arrive. And I guess I could go ahead and make a key, 4mm key in the meantime. I got a little too close to the collet a couple times there, but I don't feel as bad about it as I would have, because I saw Mr. Pete do that too. So if he can do it, then I can do it. Not so bad. I had my brain disengaged again. I've got to put a little hex on this side here so I can put a wrench on it too. So maybe I won't mess this one up. Who can say? So another time here on it. I'm just about to finish, and I think I'm getting much better on this hex. Of course, this one held a lot tighter too. There's a whole lot of material up inside of that collet, and it's, you know, a lot bigger diameter, twice the diameter easily. So I have to believe that this is going to work out here. Making sure to mark the sides in case I have to go around again. At least I'll know which one I did last. But I think that's good enough. That's a hex on it all the way around. And for the moving camera, there's my little positioner that I built here a while back. It came in really handy on this, so that I could get all the cuts for the hex in line with each other. Alright, now at this point I do have to stop and wait for the delivery, you know, the brown truck of happiness. Well, that's how things are looking now. I have no idea why I took this out of the collet, because I've got to put it right back in there to cut the keyway. Some things are just a mystery to me too. I think it's going to work great. This came in the mail today, and I've opened it up, and this is apparently the right size. I'm wondering about the count on this stuff, because some of it doesn't look like the count's just right, but nevertheless it's just what I need. There's the little key to go in the gear. It's a little bit long, but what the heck, I can always cut it off. I'll put it over there. The only thing that didn't arrive was the end mill, and I was stupid enough not to order a collet when I ordered the end mill, so I've got to wait yet for the end mills and the collets and everything to come in. So I'll just put this on hold and go work on another project. Okay, so I got a set of metric collets that just arrived yesterday, and I got 3 little 4mm metric bits that arrived yesterday. And what we're going to do today is we're going to use all that stuff to cut the keyway in here and finish up the project. It took a few days for the stuff to show up, so I've been doing other things, of course. If you have a lady that, you know, in charge of you, you can have plenty to do without even trying. So it's not like I was wasting away, neglected. Oh, 6. It's a 4 millimeter on the cutting end, but the collet end's a 6. So I've got to change this, put a 6 millimeter collet in it. Dad burn it. Alright, I got it all straightened out. It's a 4 millimeter end mill with a 6 millimeter shank. And I figure I've got to go down 78 thousandths to get the right depth for a 4 millimeter key. So that's what we're going to work on here. We're going to work on getting down that deep, and I think I'll cut back into here a little bit so that I'll have excuse me, more support for the key. I don't know that it's necessary. I just feel like doing that. I think that's going to do it. I'll move this guy over and we'll find out. Be right back. There we go. Key fits. I'm going to have to cut off a little bit off of the end of the key, but it goes in there real nice, and that certainly ought to keep it from turning. So at this point, the project's pretty much done. I'll come back and show you once I get the key cut off. Okay, it looks to me like the key is just the tiniest bit below the surface here, and the cutter goes on. Not that this is guaranteed the right way. Let's see. Probably like this. As you can see, it's not sticking out past the cutter. I'm going to screw this down on it. And if it doesn't come out with a key scratch on it, well, then it'll definitely be just right. So here we go. We got us a collet, and it's looking good. I'll go get a wrench and tighten it down and then take it off and see if there's a keyway scratch. There we are. No keyway scratch anywhere on it. So this is indeed a finished project. I'm going to leave a cutter screwed on it so that I don't lose that key. I lost the key out of my rotary table like that. Now that I've got that box to choose from, I'm sure I'll find one in there to fit it. Let's go see what Bubba's up to. Ain't that just plumb beautimous? It's as pretty as a brand new set of snow tires. Bubba and Cooter was walking along the riverbank one day. They come across a bunch of people that was watching the guy immerse some of them in the river. And the preacher looked up and he saw Bubba and Cooter, and he says, "Hey brothers, come on down. I'm baptizing sinners, washing away their sin, just as the word says. Come on down. You'll find Jesus. You'll be saved." But Cooter asked Bubba, "What do you reckon?" Bubba says, "Yeah, well, it probably can't hurt. It's a hot day and all, and a dip in the river sounds good." So he goes on down. Pretty soon he's being immersed in the water. And as he comes up, the preacher says, "Hallelujah, have you found Jesus?" "No," replies Bubba. So he dunks him down again. When he brings him back up, he says, "Have you found Jesus now?" And the Reverend asked him, "Not yet," says Bubba. So third time he dumps him under the water, and this time he kept him under there for pretty good while. This time when Bubba come bobbing up, he says, "Have you found him this time?" "No," says Bubba, "I haven't. Are you sure this is where he fell in?" Well, that's all, folks. Y'all try to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Leave a comment if you got something to say. And above all, remember, keep on keeping on. Bye now.